I hear that. Busy. I hear that.
Just kidding.
Anyway.
That's really disappointing for Quincy, who lost his favorite babysitter.
Right? We didn't even see Quincy that day. He thought you were there for him. He thought Devin thought that Quincy was there for him.
Reason.
But anyway, DG. So, look, like I said, we expected JJ to win the job. I did not expect for a near perfect performance, nor did I expect there to be the disparity, this level of gap in performances, one that's so wide that after 2 games, because I thought it would at least go through the UConn game, but after 2 games, the gap was so wide that Jim Harbaugh said, JJ's the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that the gap would be wide, but I did not expect him to go out and be perfect. And now let me set this scene for you guys, because, I've heard a ton of former players, my friends, people, a lot of people, talking in oh, man, he's Hawaii and blah, 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 blah. But this is the thing. This is what I kill him with when I put it in perspective like this. In college, for us, it was Thursday practice. And for most teams, Thursday practice. Friday, it's like true walkthrough T-shirts. You don't really do anything. But Thursday, you got pads on. Sometimes people wear shells. But they tell the scout team, do not break up the ball. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that you can make sure you get through all the plays nice and smooth and the quarterback sees completions, all these different things, right? On Thursdays, you don't go 11 for 12. On Thursdays, when you are supposed to complete the balls, they're telling them not to break up the balls. You don't go 11 for 12 on Thursdays.
Should have been 12 for 12.
And I'm getting to that. You definitely don't go 12 for 12. Right? And so unless you play quarterback or you've been in college and you've been in that situation, you can't really understand that. And even for a lot of my friends who've played in college and they act like they don't know. And then they say, oh, you're right. You're right. He did play a game. And he did have the entire crowd after one throw chanting his name. And so you can't understand that type of pressure. And I'll explain it to you because I had it already, right? I'm going to take you back to UConn. It's crazy that they're playing UConn next week. I'm going to take you back to UConn 2010. Denard gets hurt. He gets hurt on the sideline. But going into this game, it was me and Denard, right? Tate was third. It was me and Denard. We competed. Denard was a starter. I found out a few years later, once I was like, oh, I was never having a chance of playing. It was always going to be Denard. But whatever. I think that I got a chance because I played so well and whatever the case may be.
They lied to you.
They lied. And they should have because I wasn't ready. And this is why. So I go, he gets tired. And, I'm that guy. I'm not one to do a third quarterback in the country. Even though Denard's playing good in the game, the crowd can't wait to see this young Devin. It's me.
Hey, you're hometown.
I'm hometown, baby. I'm here. I run out there, and they just are screaming, going crazy. And when I tell you the thing that passed through my body of like, whoa. And this was a day game. It wasn't no night game. It's a day game. And, long story short, I lost 4 yards on the play, forgot to play, all kind of crazy stuff.
Devin was nervous?
Oh, man.
Devin Gardner had butterflies?
My very first play, I hiked the ball, ready, set, go. And nobody moved, brother. I wasn't loud enough. Nobody moved. So, I
cannot imagine Devin Gardner not being loud enough.
The next play, not the next play. The play's still in that play. I'm about to get to the game soon. I'm screaming, ready, set, go. Hike the ball. Forgot to play. It was a lot. It was a lot going on. So obviously, most people don't get the chance to experience the crowd chanting your name and you being the guy and the pressure that comes along with performing, not to mention a rain delay. Not to mention every time that ball comes back to you, it's wet. Yet people are not thinking about that. Every time the ball gets snapped to you, it's coming back wet because the turf is wet. And it's coming from the ground. It's wet every time, right? And so I'm gonna tell you another part of quarterbacking: the anxiety that comes along with a wet ball for a thrower. I mean, it was Hawaii. There wasn't any adversity. Yes, it was. It was a ton of adversity. And like I said, you don't go 11 for 12 and could have been 12 for 12 on Thursday practices. So and what made it worse. K got an opportunity in the game. He got an opportunity. And so it's like, K would have did the same thing. Well, he got in the game. He did not. So it was a masterful performance. I mean, I didn't expect that. I did not expect it to be, I mean, just completely in control. Like it's not a game going on almost. You know, it was fun to watch. And I'm so glad that, you know, the powers that be held the game up for me to get back because, you know, I had Duke Northwestern earlier.
That was about you.
Yeah.
That's about that.
The reason it was a delay, I'm sorry, JJ. I told my brother, my man upstairs, I said, hey, let there be rain. I need to get to this game. Let there be rain. So I need to get to this game.
On. You got that kind of control.
It ain't my control, but me and him tight.
Okay.
He knew I needed to be there.
So you and him tight.
Yeah.
He could get the
M with a capital H, so we know him up there.
He can basically stop the game from happening on time.
Oh no, he can
to get you here.
Oh, he can do all things.
He can't slide you in for Reggie Bush. I mean, what's up, man?
That ain't my want. That's your want.
We need to make this happen.
That
man.
was good because I had no idea where he was going. That was good, Sam.
I'm just saying.
But stop doing
Reggie Bush to me.
How are you talking about Reggie Bush?
No redeemer. You're my guy.
Sam, leave Devin on the game.
I want to see.
He is so good on games, and he needs to stay away from the other guy that just got added back to the Fox.
So it's like this for me. I quick story when.
I remember
when 97 when Dre Weathers, who I mean, go back to elementary school, church, you know, high school, Michigan.
Yeah.
When he caught that interception against Ohio State and ran it back, it was like that's my guy. That's my dude. It felt like me. So when I watch you on TV, DG, I had that same feeling. I'm like, man, that's my guy. That's my brother.
Could you please leave her?
I'm saying we need you on the big show. You need to be sitting there. You need to replace.
Northwestern wasn't big enough.
You need to replace Reggie Bush.
Duke Northwestern wasn't big enough.
If you replace Reggie Bush, I know I'm going to actually get some substance. That's all I'm saying.
Listen,
that's all I'm saying.
I finish my soliloquy, please? I don't even know what I was talking about.
See, you don't want me talking bad about Reggie Bush, but that's fine.
I want you to leave me out of it. Do it when I'm not here. I don't even know what I was saying.
Right. All right. So let's get into the game, and let's start off first with you take the folks through a dagger concept.
Okay.
Right. So because the first touchdown, the first big play.
Oh, I love it because you never get a chance to throw it. I love it. You never get. I don't know if Borges told you this. You hardly ever throw the deep post on the dagger.
No, he did not tell me that.
So the deep post on the dagger is essentially you put a fast guy. It was J.U. Chesson. You know, we had Funches there a couple times. You put the guy there so he can take the top off of the defense. Now, it's not a read that you skip, right? You check. Is it there? You don't spend a lot of time. Probably not there. Cool. But I know I got a great concept in the dig coming underneath, right? So you got a guy in the slot running as fast, and sometimes he runs post, sometimes he runs like just vertical, but just run as fast as you can, knowing that you probably won't get the ball, but knowing if you get past the coverage, you could get it. I don't think I've even ever thrown the deep post on the dagger because I got Jeremy Gallen coming on the dig. Why would I try to throw this dagger? I got dig. So you always assess it. It's called assessing the post. Assess the post, right? But you know pretty much you're going to come down to the dig and then you get to the flat if you got a flat route or whatever the case may be. And he rolled the play action so long that the safety sprinted up, and now it's essentially zero. Throw it.
So what was the coverage supposed to be on the play?
I can't even tell. I can't even tell what the coverage was. I think it was supposed to be single highs. There's no way that was a first down. It was a first down play because they just got a first down. There is no way that Hawaii said, "Hey, we're gonna go zero on this play in the middle of it." That's not a thing.
I thought maybe you were supposed to be in 3D.
They had to have supposed to be in 3D. And guess what? That ride, because of the play before, when there was a big run, which the linebackers probably moved because of JJ as a threat as a runner, but we're not going to talk about that. The ride was so long that the safety, who is not a run enforcer, he's a middle safety, started to come down and try to help his buddies. And now you got Roman Wilson one-on-one with anybody. Like, it was beautiful. I was jealous a little bit. I'm like, wait a minute. How is he throwing the deep post on a dagger? Like, what are we doing?
And so I want to take you back to something that I highlighted last week and you saw, because Roman Wilson was not primary on that play.
No.
Nor was he primary on the play.
He's essentially a decoy.
Right. And so you remember he stepped to the line last week and he was like, no one's on me. And never got a glance. And it just feels like to me that Roman is often in the position where he either has a favorable matchup or someone's not covering him. and he's a decoy. And so he's not going to get the ball. And it feels like he's ignored. And on this particular, that's why this sticks out. And this is why
so you know what that
were
does,
so happy.
Though? You know what that does? Because Roman Wilson's not always the guy in the slot to do it. The guys that are decoys are going to run hard now. They're going to be like, I might get this. And this is not just a take two. This is I'm probably going to get this ball. I might get this ball. I better run hard, which helps the offense, right? Because if that guy runs hard, thinking he might get a chance to get it, and even if you don't get it, guess what? It wasn't designed for you to get it. The other guy's going to be wide open anyway. And so it was a great way to start. And a super surprise way. I'm like, wait, what? So I'm thinking like, dang, when I first watched it, I'm like, dang, they just going to call a deep shot right away. But then when you dissect the play, it's like, no, they try to get him a routine dig throw, and he just made a play.
Well, and so let me be clear as I say this, and I put this scenario to you. This is not to disparage Cade. I make it a point not to do that. But I do want to highlight a contrast because I think, and we'll go back.
Can be disparaging.
We'll go back and we'll look at this play in the breakdown, so you can understand the breakdowns are for educational and entertainment purposes only. We separate them because they will have no sponsors attached, right? All right, so got that out of the way. But what stuck out to me, supposed to be 3 deep coverage. They clearly blew it, right? Mm-hmm. They clearly blew it. But if you are locked in pre-snap to this is 3 deep coverage and you don't like attacking down the middle of the field against zone, you're never even looking there. You're never even looking there. And it was my belief through the breakdowns with you and with Borges, and we look at it, it just felt like for Cade, attacking down the middle of the field against zone especially was something that he didn't like to do.
Yeah.
And so here on this play, first pass play, we see JJ attacking that.
I want to be clear about like your feelings, Borges' feelings, or my feelings about Cade. Your feelings are that he locks in on guys. I don't truly know what Borges' feelings are, but your feelings are like, I don't think he understands coverage. And people are like fighting back. Oh, he does. Well, when I watch the film with his eyes aren't ever in the correct place based off of what the coverage did. So I can't sit here and say like it almost works as in the same way of like and like the black quarterback, right? He can't read defense, just saying it. And I'm like, I understand that he's supposed to be able to read defense, but when I watch, I don't see a guy that understands rotation, understands defense. So that's my feeling. I don't think he understands defense very well.
And you're the expert. I defer to you quite often.
Well, neither of us are in his head, so we don't know for sure. And based off of his helmet with those wings, that's what they used to say. You know exactly what you're looking at with those wings on your helmet.
Right, so. And again, to me, what I see, and I don't want to belabor this point because we need to be talking about JJ more in this segment, but I think he'll see 3D before this. And man, I don't want to attack down the middle of the field on this. So then
he'll see 3D, but he won't see 3 clouds, right? With the corner in the flat.
And so he'll look at where he wants to go with the football, and when the coverage says, "Okay, you can't go there," then he'll do something else. That at least that's my speculation on the matter.
So that's like it's like the paradigm or the definition of what not being able to read the coverage is. I'm so confused. No, it's like you're trying to say it in a nicer way.
No, I'm saying he can read the coverage. He wants to go a certain place.
So he's just like, I'm gonna do exactly what the coverage suggests I shouldn't do, even though I know.
And if I can't go there, if I cannot go there, I throw it to the back.
Nice.
I throw it to the back. Because it happened on that pivot route.
Oh, of course it did. Another interesting point. JJ, see, I made a mistake and called JJK. See, that's good. JJ only threw to the back one time, and it was like 45 yards down the field. He's just not dropping back trying to get to the back. I mean, it is what it is. Like, now, he did check it down in situations that I thought was really good. It's like, okay, you got your back against the wall, different things. You checked the ball down, but it wasn't to a back. It was to a receiver.
Right.
But I never once saw him drop back and look for the back, except for on the one play where he should have looked for the back because it had a mismatch.
Yeah, and look, there
I know made me very happy.
Yeah, and there are tendencies,
and the receivers.
There are tendencies that show up down the middle of the field against zone, especially not attacking the field. Versus definitely a boundary thrower. That's out the window. This guy will attack down the middle of the field.
And he'll throw in the boundary.
Right.
It was a double stick scenario where they had a stick to the field, stick to the boundary, right? Super simple.
Mm-hmm.
And the boundary one was open, but the stick one was open. I mean, the field one was open, but the boundary one was open. And you know me, I was thinking he was going to take the field one. He took the boundary one, which is fine. You know, I mean, I say I might have graded him down now, though.
All right, so
I need to be a little tough on him.
So the other one that stuck out to me, in terms of what opens up with JJ was
everything. It's crazy.
Okay, but the split zone RPO to Ronnie, and Ronnie was like, I didn't know if he was going to come to me, but he came to him, Dev. He came to him.
Whoa, language. This guy's crazy. You know what's
hanging out with John, you bacon.
You're tripping. But I was in the back. I was in the corner of that end zone, and when he went to go play action, like it was. So what I wanted to see from JJ, let's just say what I wanted to see in the game from JJ was, a lot of people want to see him basically BK, like, oh no, check it out, dude. Like, don't do all the stuff. What I wanted was careful risk taker. Careful risk taker. Assess the situation and take that risk if you believe you can make the play. That's what quarterbacking is. If you believe you can make the play, you should not make it because you got another guy that you're competing with that doesn't make mistakes. All right? You shouldn't do that. And so I wanted to see him take a careful risk. And the play you're talking about, that's a careful risk because at that point, Ronnie had already dropped the pass. Which was it's kind of tough, and we'll talk about it in the breakdown, but he had already dropped the pass, and he comes out of this, and the thing is, he has to trust Ronnie to really catch this ball because he put some mustard on that throw. And he so much mustard that Ronnie had a tight split, and he got the ball before he got to the safety, and he was able to protect himself. The safety, hit him or whatever the case may be in the end zone. But, I mean, the fact that he had the courage to throw that ball, because that's a run play. That's a run play called with an attachment, right? RPO, the thing that everybody loves, and they get RPO and play action mixed up sometimes. That's an true RPO, and he pulls that ball out in the red zone and fires at a 165,000 mile per hour fastball, but that was somehow very catchable, right? It was super fast, but it was super catchable. He snags it. Touchdown. And at that point, I just walked to the other side. I started talking to Denard and walking through and doing my deal. I was just like, that's courage, man. I'm telling, because I remember I had a scenario against Notre Dame where I saw something. It was Notre Dame night game. I saw something that I should change the play to, and I didn't have any courage, right? And so eventually I found courage from during the play clock. I found courage somewhere because I saw it right away, and I didn't do it. And then out of nowhere, and it's so funny, Jake Butt was the funniest. He looked at me like, what are you doing? It's 2 seconds left. It's like 5 seconds left on the play clock. I changed the formation, boom, because I wanted to get to speed outs because I knew we would score. And I found the courage late, and we almost got a penalty or a motion, whatever the case may be, and half the team didn't know the play because I wasn't, but then we scored. But for him to have the courage right away and just the smoothness in which he was able to just put the ball where he wanted, and that was very impressive because any guy that's fighting for a job with a good running game is not going to pull that ball out because the better play is the RPO throw. That's the better play. But I'm fighting for a job. What if he don't catch it? I don't want to make a mistake, but this is a good play with the run. If I don't score, then they're going to say you should have handed off. Like so many things. And it's like he blocked all of that out and just was like, hey, I'm going to play football the way I play football and make the play. And whatever happens, happens. And 11 of 12 is what happened.
Oh, man.
3 touchdowns.
So, I mean, it felt
and
like
a 2-minute drive, by the way.
Yeah, I know it's only right. They put him back in 2 minutes. He did it in 1 minute. I mean,
you know what? Let me go back to my grade because I need to mark him down. He scored too fast. You got to spend more time, brother.
Hey, man, it's funny you say that because I did an event in Flint last week and a guy, and I'm not picking on you, but it got into the whole picking sides thing. And he said, one of my concerns about going to JJ is he's just going to score too fast. And I said, well, so that's called a good problem. I'll take those. I'll take those good problems. You're telling me I'm going to score. I'm not going to worry about how. Yeah. I just want to score, right? Yeah. So that's one of those things that made me think about that sequence. Like, look, you got to find things to be concerned about with JJ, right? I just, this performance, even though it was Hawaii, was such that you saw the possibilities. And these coaches.
Let's be clear.
These coaches clearly did
He
too.
wasn't the only quarterback that played against Hawaii.
Right. And so this is another thing that seemed to manifest in this game. And you tell me if this is a thing. Compare the number of RPO/play passes in this contest to the ones they called the game before. It just seems like
it's no real threat with the run though. So the threat of the play goes away because it's run with the running back or throw. And I mean that's it. That's just play action at that point. You know what I mean? Right. But when you add that triple option, third option, right, that makes it like, think about it. If you're running speed option, which is better? Speed option where you don't fake the dive, or when you fake the dive, right? So now you got fake the dive, quarterback run, and the pitch. When you just go speed option, it's not, I mean, if you got a talented player, it's two options is good, but it's a lot better when you got the dive too. You understand that, right? So now you got the triple option threat. And one other thing that I noticed, and I'm so glad I was able to go to the game, and it was, and I'm pretty sure people could feel it on TV or whatever the case may be. They do a good job of showing emotion and all that, but the joy that everybody played with when JJ was out there, it just looked like everybody was having a good time. Because we've blown teams out before.
Well, you spoke to it before though. You said every guy thinks he has a chance to get the ball.
Everybody feels like it's like a renewed, like, you know who I feel the best for? Cornelius Johnson. Because
I feel
you don't know how many times. No, Roman gonna get his because he gonna get his bubbles. Think about it. Roman gonna get his bubbles. He gonna get, even if K play, he gonna get his stuff. He gonna get some. Hey, he gonna get reverses. Cornelius, he can get in the slot, but he outside guy, and he outside guy to the field usually.
Hey, here's what I say.
And listen, when I like seeing him, like, you know, he catch the deep post that. Oh, it was a great throw, a great play. He catches the deep post, he gets up, and he does it. He been waiting all day to do his little celebration. He ain't never got a chance.
Here's the thing, though, Dev. I mean, think back to the Colorado State game. His first three balls, they were all not good balls, but the first three balls with the CJ. You got Roman stepping. He's like, man, nobody's on me. Can somebody throw me the ball?
Roman, no, he gonna touch that football.
Yeah, gadget plays.
But he gonna touch it. Cornelius Johnson might not touch it. You feel me?
He at least get targeted.
He might not touch the ball though. That's even worse. You know how I played receiver, and you know how demoralizing it is to, first of all, be in the game. It's a lot of demoralizing things when you play receiver. One, you run a route up to the best route you ever ran, and the quarterback don't even look at you. Right? You open. Two, you run a route, you get open, and he throw a bad ball. Oh, it's terrifying. I mean, it just makes you want to throw up, and you hate it. Right, just don't even look at me next time. I think that's worse. Like I had it. So you even gave me a chance, and then you threw it on my head. Oh man!
All right. So because when we come back on the other side, you got to go into every throw at JJ's.
Wait, are you saying that as if I don't want to?
No.
Seems weird.
No, I'm not saying because you don't want to. I'm saying it.
I was actively trying to find things wrong with every play.
Yeah, I'm saying it because you offer a lot of praise, but you also offer a lot of critiques. People think you won't critique JJ.
Oh, I definitely critique JJ.
That's coming up on me.
And yeah. Get to your break.
Yeah,
we need to get our break. Hurry up and get this break done so we can get going.
That's coming up on the other side where you offer your critique of JJ, but I wonder if you agree with this in closing. Look, K clearly, not this part, but K clearly played poorly these two games, like really poorly. Poorer than we saw him in any game last year, the exception being the Washington game.
Which is the game before JJ started contributing to the offense, right?
Right. And so there has to be a reason for that because he's not as bad as he performed in these two games against these two opponents. So I just feel like with the competition being over,
I don't know if it's over. I think Harbaugh was saying he's going to start next week.
I felt
because
that
there's 2 games before Iowa. Yeah. I think he's going to start this next week, and we don't know. K may start the week after that. So I wouldn't say. It feels like people are saying that the competition's over. I don't think the competition's over, and I don't think it should be over because competition makes you better, and that's what's going to make JJ and K better.
I know where you're coming from with that. I get why people think Jim said that though, because first he said JJ's going to start next week. Then Angelique asked him, so are you saying he's the starter moving forward? And Jim said, well, yeah, based on merit, that's kind of based on merit, kind of like, yeah, It's based on merit.
Yeah.
But he never said the words.
He's the
to your
starting
point,
quarterback of the University of Michigan.
That he's the starter moving forward, right? So I'm with you. Yeah. It's a little up in the air, but you can't see the gap between these two guys.
No, I'm sorry. What are you saying? Because we've seen the gap, or at least I've seen the gap for a whole year.
Okay, I know you have, Dev, but you haven't seen. Cade hasn't played that poor as he's played in some games. He hasn't played this poorly, man.
Man, I always go back to Washington, man. We couldn't throw the ball. Like we had to say, you know what? No more pass plays.
Right. That was the only game that we saw like that last year.
JJ started playing later and took some of the pressure off.
And so here's my question to you getting into the break. You need him back to some semblance of his former self, talking about Cade. Because you never know if you're going to need him at some point on the field. Do you think...
Did you see Davis Warren?
I did see Davis.
I was asking. I'm not trying to say anything.
I did see Davis Warren.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, I did that. Still. That being said,
we saw the spring game already, but this is a real game.
Can you answer my question? How do you get him back? How do you get him back to at least what he was? Do you think the competition being over or close to over or maybe over is something that might help him relieve some of that mental stress that clearly has been doing a thing to him?
I mean, I don't know, because I've never been in a position to feel like that. Like, I remember I got replaced at one point, and they put Shane Morris in the game. They started him against Minnesota, which was a huge relief for Minnesota, obviously, and he was awful. But I wasn't on the sideline pouting. I was happy. I was doing my thing because, first of all, I'm ultimately confident in myself, and I know what time it is, right? I knew that I should have been benched, right? I knew that the offensive line wasn't doing great, and I never blamed them, and that was a problem because I didn't blame them. Other people blame me on our staff, which is like, okay, I'm being the quarterback. I'm being very presidential. Hey, it's my fault. I'll take it all. But then you get another guy in there, and now he's getting hurt because it's dangerous out there when you can't move around. Because they are blocking the guys. You know what I mean? He gets hurt, and then the whole concussion thing. When I win the game, what happened? Do you remember? I drove right down like 4 plays and scored. Like, you know what I mean? I don't. My mental makeup is a little different than Cade, just based off what I don't know him personally, but based off what I've seen, my mental makeup is different. So it's hard for me to get inside his head and say, how do you get back to? But you guys are saying I see the same guy. That's what's like. I don't understand what the question is, because I see the same guy. Like, I see the same guy, except for we also just saw JJ play. That's how I feel about it.
His quarterback rating, his Pro Football Focus, whatever metric you bring up, it's been worse in these two games than any game we saw last year. But Washington, there has to be a reason for that.
But coming into this year, I told you it's not going to be just turn around and hand the ball off, right? Not to mention the pressure of a true competition. That's real. The pressure of a true competition is real. And that's why when I talk about State Street and Main Street players, they're totally different, right? And even in the spring game, that's still State Street. That ain't a real game, right? The pressure of playing in real competition is a serious, real thing. And if you've never competed in sports, maybe you work at a plant, or maybe you work in an office. Think about when you have a project due and you're competing against another team, the pressure you feel to do things right, where everything has to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's competition. I don't know the endorphins that go through your body or whatever the case may be, but that's why you want to practice super hard, because in the game, your adrenaline's pumping, you're a little stronger, or whatever the case may be. I mean, it's competition. This is true competition. Before, it wasn't real competition. I'm just telling you. Cade, I wasn't at practice, but you don't give the other guys some of the starters reps. Cade was getting all the reps, and no matter what you say about the competition, whatever, he ain't stupid. If I'm getting all the starters reps, I'm the starter. What are you talking about? There is no competition. But now, right now, we're gonna let this guy play the entire game. That's real. And he knew that before his first game. That's real competition. Hold on now. Hold on. I don't got Hassan Haskins. I can't just turn around, hand it off. Like, even though you know how I feel about Blake Corum. Right, but Blake Corum, he a different style. Even though he got that in between the tackle thing, people are kind of, because of his stature or whatever, he has that. But I mean, you got this big bruiser of a back, right? Turn around, hand to him, whatever case may be. I mean, that's totally different than coming in this year when you don't want to keep putting Corum in that fire like that. He has too many skills for you to just run him in the middle of the line, and so you can't lean on that as much. Not to mention in the next week. The other guys are gonna get a chance.
What was real, as we will get to a break now, Ira. But what's real is the realization that if I'm at my best and he's at his best, there are just things that he can do that I can't. And how do you deal with that mentally?
That's tough. That's super tough. When I tell you that's tough, like looking at another man and saying, hey, even if I'm perfect and if you're perfect too, I don't have a chance. Right? And that's where we're at. If K were to be perfect, and JJ's perfect and K's perfect. JJ's perfect is significantly better. And that's the problem. Because everything that if K gets perfect, everything he can do, JJ can do. And if not, he can do it better. You know?
I don't sit here and pretend that it's not
before the break.
That's a tough thing mentally to deal with.
Yeah. I mean, mental health is so important in this situation. And the one thing, that's why when you saw K start to blame and when you start deflecting, blaming others, you know it's an issue. Right, it's a real issue. It's in you, and you try to cover your own butt. That's what it is. But the most interesting thing is JJ going out. He has a lot of the same pressures, but he's not really affected by it.
Right.
That's the special part about it that it's pretty cool. It's really cool to watch because he has these same pressures, maybe even more. Right, he doesn't have the cachet of I won a Big Ten championship technically. Right, I'm supposed to be 12 for 12. That's this. You know, people are, oh, you're taking it too far. But think about LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Nobody thought Michael Jordan was going to be the best player to ever touch a basketball when he was drafted or whatever, or he would have went first. Right? He was going to be good. Everybody thought he was going to be really, really good. LeBron, as a 16-year-old, they said you're going to be the best player to ever play. And then he goes and at least it's a conversation that he's one or two. At least like he's surpassed anything anybody could have even believed that he would possibly do, right? So the expectations for JJ were through the roof. They chanted his name in the stadium. He's not a recruit. He's playing. He's guy in the game, not the starter. And then when K got in the game, when K got in the game, they started chanting, "We want JJ back." Then he comes in and does what he does on the 2-minute. The pressures that were involved in the mental health aspect of sport, the things that were involved in that game were so beautiful watching. It started in the beginning when there was a lightning delay and everything like that. I mean, special, beautiful, loved it. I mean, break, I guess.
Yeah, we got a break. All right, we'll come back on the other side. We'll critique every throw, and we'll drop the analysis, the X's and O's analysis a little bit later on, probably in the AM. We got to actually do it after the show, but got to get to a break. More with our Monday morning quarterback, brought to you by our friends at Grand Traverse Resort. On the other side here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, The Ticket. Which guy?
This guy says, is JJ technically a black quarterback? Like, what are we doing?
I don't know where he was. I wasn't following the conversation to even know where that came from.
Oh, so. It definitely came from because he can't read defense. You know where it came from. That's crazy.
Is that what he was saying?
He has to be. What else could he be saying? Is he technically a black quarterback? There's no great connotation that goes along with black quarterback because he can't run. What else could it be?
Talking about JJ?
Oh, is JJ
a black quarterback? Yeah.
Oh, he's saying because he can run. It's ridiculous. Same. Even though it's positive, technically, it's still bad.
Yeah, I don't even know where that came from.
So weird.
Anyway, there's so many comments to go back through here. So Ira, do we need to switch mics? Do we want to switch Devin to
leave it as is for today? I'll get it figured out by next week.
You talking this wiggly one? I'm fine with it.
Yeah, the wiggly one, but it's because you project.
Oh, the sound is weird.
You project it, so we get it. We get a little. No, you good. You good.
It's good. We're good.
You're good.
We adjusted it. We're good.
We'll get that fixed. So there's so much here, commentary wise. Let me see.
So many people are commenting, guys. Slow down. We can't see it.
Right. So I guess I'll just jump in. There were a couple of times in the game where you saw maybe some nitpicking, Devin. I think it was a perfect performance, personally.
Considered picked.
Just what you're about to do. Any critique, I think, is nitpicking in this game. What Borges did, he came. I was like, hey, he just stared the dude down on the slant, on the one that Ronnie dropped. He said, man, he stared him down. I'm like, man, yeah, but he got him. He know he has the howitzer to get it in there. And so he threw it a little
changer.
He threw it a little behind him.
It was still on his frame.
But it was still on his frame. So I take that.
The thing for Ronnie, it's a drop, but it's a tough catch because the thing is, right as the ball is like it gets through, but the linebacker is kind of in his vision a little bit, right? So it's a tough catch.
So Jason, we saw Jason Devine after the game. And,
man, I met Jason Devine. It was great.
You never met Jason?
I never met him.
Oh,
he was like, man, you way bigger than I thought. I'm like, I'm a big dude. I said, I'm about 40 pounds bigger. He said, no, I mean tall.
I remember being...
He one of my favorite players. I love him.
Yeah, he was on the...
And he looked so good. He like to play right now.
Yeah, he had tore his ACL his senior year, so he had to sit out the Army All-American game. And I remember being there. That's when I met
this man.
Jason.
How old are you?
I know, man. I'm getting up there.
That's ridiculous.
And so
you be using that dye, don't you?
I don't use no dye. Hey man, no, that's all natural, man.
With Sam do, he died just a little bit, so it seemed like
thing.
He probably all great. He probably like Morgan Freeman.
When it goes salt and pepper, we gonna stick with the salt.
I think you might be Morgan Freeman. You just dying a little bit.
Nah, bro. You know, Morgan Freeman. He
been old since he started.
Hey man, he a cradle robber too, though. But listen. Jason said after the game, he said, you know, he was a little late on that post to Cornelius. I'm like, man, that's like I know you're, all big time NFL receiver, but I'm like, dog, I take that. I take that.
What play was that? I wonder.
The 54-yarder. All right.
He put it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hits ball.
Yeah, we are back, folks, here on the Michigan Insider, Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTKA.com. Sam Webb. Ira Weintraub on the other side, back with our Monday morning quarterback.
Can we talk
Devin
about?
Gardner.
Can we finish what we were just talking about?
Yeah,
because I want to talk about that play right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So the radio people didn't know.
We were talking about what I consider nitpicking with JJ. I think it was a perfect performance.
Yeah.
For a first time starter, with all the pressures that you were just talking about, it was unbelievable, right?
Yeah,
but he sort of hung up the pass to Roman, but I thought that was that was intentional. So he didn't overthrow him, right? He was still able to walk into the end zone. You had the board just talk about, he sort of stared down the slant to Ronnie. Right. But I'm like, but he has the Howard sort of gun it in there. That's I'm cool with that. Jason Devine after the game, he said, one thing I say, he was a little late on the post to CJ, but he still had the arm to really get it down the field. So I'm like, if he was late, I take that.
So this is the thing about that play. It was a deep over with a post. Another one of those like Dagger where the post is just a decoy, right? And first, by the way, I got a chance to meet Jason Devine for the first time. I really like Jason Devine. It's one of my favorite players. I know he's probably not listening,
good dude.
Hey, when I tell you, it was great to meet Jason Devine, and I was acting kind of fangirlish, and I want to apologize because I'm sure I made it weird for him. It's like, dude, why are you acting like this? But big fan of your work as a pro, as a college player. Obviously, all-time favorite for me. Now, he's wrong about that too, by the way. But I'm gonna tell you,
hey man, give some of that smoke to Reggie Bush. By the way,
the reason the thing is, I was wrong too on the field because on the field it felt and seemed late, right? Okay. It felt and seemed late. But when you go back and watch the film, right, they had this play marries to a 5-step drop. You can ask Borges when you get a chance. The deep over with the deep post, right? It almost serves. It's like an opposite of the dig. Right, so you're going deep over from across the field instead of running a dig from the same side with the deep post taken off the top. Right, and we talked about it. Those guys usually just don't get the ball. And Hawaii, there was no play action on this one too. So Hawaii was in deep 3, right, middle safety.
Yeah.
Right, and so when he first took a 5-step drop, as he's dropping, the safety's backing up. When he gets like the 3 or 4 before he gets to his 5th step, the safety reacts to the over. So it's even more impressive because he hits his back foot 5, hitches and throws. So he went 5 hitch throw in rhythm to the deep post. Yeah. How? So during your drop, you recognize the safety, take the deep over, and then decided to throw that ball over his head. So, but Jason Hill, if he gets a chance to see it, he'll say the same thing like,
okay,
right.
He was on time.
Right. like unbelievably on time. Because even on the field, I was like, that was a little late. Would that happen in a real game? I guess, but it's cool. It's Hawaii. No, when you go watch the film, these throws aren't about Hawaii. It's about the throws and the timing and where to go with the ball and reading the coverage and things like that. Now, one thing I will say, coverages will get more complicated for sure.
It's funny you highlight this because you know Fred Jackson. So Freddie J's son.
I love Freddie J, by the way.
Freddie J's son, Fred Jackson Jr.
I love Fred Jackson Jr. as well.
Was my high school quarterback, and so Dre Weathers.
You just trying to age people. I know what you're trying to do.
Listen. Dre Weathers was the wing. So we ran that. So it was we called it combo. So you had a dig, a post, and then you had the wheel. I don't know if the pass went to the post the whole season. Ever. I don't think he ever threw it to the post.
Decoy. It's been the same with all of football. It's never into the post. You never throw the post usually. But
you got JJ McCarthy.
And the thing is, the reading of defense is the most important. I mean, the arm, we already knew he had a good arm and all that. Yeah. But the reading of defense is the most important thing. Now, when I saw him play last year, he made good decisions, right? Everybody talking about, he fumbled against Michigan State. Well, it's still up in the air, but I think it's him and Quorum because he carried out a naked bootleg fake. That wasn't a read where he tried to pull out. He carried out a naked bootleg fake the other way, so he was trying to give the ball. So take that out. He didn't make many mistakes. You know what I mean? And so it's like, okay, a guy that comes in spot duty, but not coming in for garbage time, coming in during the game and doesn't make mistakes. He has to know something about the defense. And to see him go in a 5-step drop and in the middle of the drop, see the safety come and take the deep over and he throw the post. This is 2 times in this game where he throws a throw that you just don't throw because because the defense suggested, right? And that's post read because pre-read, pre-snap, he's saying, they're deep 3. I'm throwing this deep over across. He's going to win. It's uncoverable. Boom. Be done with the play. Yeah. And then in your drop, you see the safety come up and it's like, oh no.
And I understand. We had a dude running the post. So Dre's running the wheel. The guy running the dig is my man D'Angelo Mitchell, who was a big timer. And then the guy running the post was Eric Turner's little brother, who was a standout basketball player at the University of Michigan, Jason Turner. So JT was a dude. He played college football at Toledo, running the post. And so it's like, hey, and he never the whole season got the ball thrown to that route.
It's a decoy.
So I'm just telling you.
And because you kind of see it, you can't pre-snap and say, I'm going to throw it. You know what I mean? Unless it's 0 or something like that. You got to see that during your, you know what I mean? It's tough to do. It's really tough. I don't think I've ever thrown a post. I mean, I'm just telling you. Ask Borges if I've ever thrown a post. I don't know if I ever have. And why would you when Gallen's going to be wide open? But whatever. One more thing I want to talk about with the when he threw it to Donovan Edwards. I knew we were going to get to it at some point, but it's on my mind right now. And we were kind of on the theme of poise and being able to recognize things, right? And so we saw the one thing about this game plan, it was very similar, excluding the read option stuff, which it wasn't a whole bunch because he only threw the ball 12 times. The game plan was very similar to the one before. It seems like they took the game plan from last week with the plays and tried to give JJ those same type of plays just so it could be a good, fair comparison. Mm-hmm. So these were a lot of the same plays we had last week. We just didn't look like this. You know what I mean? But I digressed a bit. When they moved Donovan Edwards out to the outside, right? Why are they doing that? To one, see the coverage, or 2, get a mismatch, right? So they move him out to the outside. Who goes with him?
I can't remember who.
A linebacker.
Oh, man-to-man.
Right.
Man-to-man.
Man-to-man. But man-to-man with crossers. I think it was crossers on the play, but you got Donovan Edwards against a linebacker. Where's that ball? Where should that ball go?
I like my matchup.
I like my matchup. We don't see that a whole bunch with especially because it was to the field. So that would have been out. But so JJ, as soon as he sees that linebacker jog out there, he knows I'm throwing a go to Donovan Edwards right away. Like there's no second thought. Mm-hmm. What I love is because a young guy, right? You're a young guy in this situation, night game, whatever, against Ohio, you could get caught into I'm gonna just go start throwing. You get excited, you know what I mean? You always see the guy when you miss a wide open guy, it's like, man, he got too excited because he got open, you know. So from the beginning when he jogged out, he knew he was throwing to him. Takes the snap, gets in his drop, holds the safety with it looks like he wasn't even going to throw it to Donovan. Holds the safety and then throws an absolute dime. And the safety reacted pretty good because the safety knows that it's man-to-man, so he cheats to where he thinks he might need help, which is the linebacker, right? Yeah. No, he's a little bit off the hash, like I'm going to help just because I know that dude like that. My guy can't. But he held him just enough and then had the arm to get that ball outside and then obviously a great catch by Donovan. Then he punched it in the next play. That kind of poise when you know that you got a big play, but you can't just stare it down because if he stares it down, that's going to be a pick. Or you're gonna have to go to somewhere else. That was another special play.
So was there anything in the game where you graded JJ down?
I got a couple 2s in there.
You do?
Out of 3, yeah, I got a couple 2s. I don't think I got no 1. I got definitely. Listen, man, I'm a tough grader. I'm just telling you. I got a 2 on his 6th throw. I got a 2 on his 5th throw. That's it. Oh, I got a 2 on his 12th throw.
Look at G. Haggis. Hey, man, Gene, listen, I think Devin needs to move up at Fox. That's all I'm saying. I'm advocating for my guy. That's why I talk about Reggie Bush. This is, to me, Devin is like that 5-star reserve that, I mean, the coaches just, I mean, you see the talent. Man. You just want to see him prove it. And now he's proving it as the backup. Let's move him up.
Duke Northwestern was an outstanding game this weekend. I'm just telling you. It was great. It went right down to the very last play.
Hey,
I don't call bad game.
Yeah, I hear you. It was bad for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
What is up with the Big Ten?
Duke tried to give it to him, but they just didn't. They could. No, I'm going to tell you right now. Evan Hull, and you're going to look at me like, what? Nah. He is very similar to 26 from Penn State. What was his name? 26?
26 for Penn State.
From Penn State.
Saquon Barkley?
He is he had almost 200 yards receiving because, I mean, they made it a point to stop him in the run game. Mm-hmm. He still had like 50, 60 yards rushing, but he was able to line up, run slants, run seams, run overs, and catch out the backfield, run screens. And when I tell you, he was unstoppable. And on that last play before they lost the game, he fumbled the game away. And it was a run play. Everybody like, why are they running the run play? Their time's run out. There are no timeouts. He splits the defense, gets to the end zone, and it feels like he might have let up just a little bit at the goal line. And Duke, 3 players hit him at the same time. Well, one on one side, one on the other side, and the other one was grabbing his legs and hit right on the ball, right? Popped that ball out, fumbled it in the end zone. It was the most demoralizing thing I've ever seen because he had been – the reason they were in the game, the reason they had a chance, because they spotted him 21, is because of him solely. Right, He was so good, and I felt terrible for him. But to fumble the ball that way and whatever, even though you're making a good play, it was devastating for him. But I talked to him and everything, and he said he's good. I mean, he's giving all the glory to God, and it was. He said that, he's playing for an audience of one, and he's giving everything he had. And I told him, you have given everything. You don't have anything to feel bad about. You should have protected the ball a little better, but. I mean, and then he didn't reach out like he had the ball tight. I know it was Michigan radio, but that Northwestern Duke game was awesome.
Yeah, well, Big Ten needs to step it up.
That's
Big
true.
Ten West especially. On the way out here, Devin, and by the way, again, the X's and O's, the footage, the telestrations, that comes in a separate video. We're actually going to do the telestration piece after the show, and I'll publish it likely in the AM. So look for that video coming up over.
And y'all should put pressure on Sam to get it done tonight because he is supposed to be a guy.
Hold on, man. I'm just kidding you. I gotta get with Borges and
I don't care.
After the show.
And JJ had to deal with a rain delay and the crowd chanting his name. So if he's able to do it, you do your thing. Let's see what you got, Sam. Let's see what you got, Sam.
I do have to hang with the family a little bit.
You're right.
Recruits.
You're right.
This
boy is nonstop. You gotta start working, man.
Hey, but. You said you don't think the competition.
Oh, sorry. Before we go, Jaden was at the game.
Yes, he was.
He needs to go to University of Michigan. And I'm going to tell you right now, y'all better get on the Michigan fans because I saw him at the Elite 11. I'm Elite 11 coach, saw him in Elite 11. And I had to, I'm a very furious coach. And his group was awful. And there was a bunch of top quarterbacks there. I'm not going to say who was in his group. They were terrible, joking around. When I tell you, I'd never seen a more locked-in kid that didn't allow the outside noise of everybody else trying to kick it. At the 11, everybody want to be friends, especially when they're young because they're not competing to get to the real show. Oh, man, yeah, my boy, link up, click up, whatever. He was so locked in, I'm going to rip y'all throats out. And when I saw it, I said, wow. Not to mention his quarterback coach is Anthony Boone. I don't know if you remember him. Former Duke quarterback, complete overachiever. I met him at the Manning Pass Academy. He shouldn't have been the quarterback at any Division I program. And he would tell you that, I would imagine. Super overachiever, was outstanding. Had Duke in the ACC championship. He's his coach. And so I wonder why he's so serious and why he's so locked in. Well, his coach is a dude. His personal quarterback is a dude. Get on him. He needs to be the next quarterback at the University of Michigan if JJ wins the job, JJ.
Yeah, fans know who Jaden Davis is. I've been down to see him several times.
They should have started a chant. We want Jaden.
So
boom,
I need
boom,
you to
boom,
answer
boom,
this
boom.
question. I need a couple seconds overtime,
good.
Ira.
He's really
Answer
good.
this question. By the way, you just gave smoke to Boone. You gave smoke, or you got smoke for everybody except you remind me of KD. KD got smoke for everybody except
Smoke?
Kyrie.
What you mean
Yeah,
smoke?
you said, he shouldn't have been a quarterback.
No, that's a compliment.
Okay.
Like he was able to he's a shorter guy, a thicker guy. He's not a runner. How the heck you gonna be a black dude, play quarterback for Duke, and you short and can't
It's a
run?
little smoke.
That ain't no smoke.
Okay, so what
vape smoke
about
at
Reggie
best.
Bush? Tell me about Reggie Bush as an
He was
analyst.
the greatest
Tell me about
football
what
player
do you
to
think
ever
of-
touch a football in college, probably.
What do you think about Reggie Bush as an analyst?
I don't really watch the show that much. So I always be busy getting prepared for my own show.
All right. So you said the
team
competition.
player, Devin. You're
Yeah,
a
he's
team
a super
player.
team
I
player.
don't really
Great
watch that
Wendy's
much.
commercial.
I don't get a chance to watch. I see him hype up the crowd, and that's great. Like he get the party going at the show.
That dude is not Devin Gardner as an analyst.
Well, I don't want nobody to be me.
Exactly. That's why they need you.
He might be
Man,
good.
can I ask my question?
Go ahead.
Listen.
You digress. Not me.
Yeah, and then you didn't let me get back on topic.
Okay.
You said the competition is not over. You don't think the competition is over. You don't think that's what Jim, the message he was really conveying.
Yeah.
What gets it over? Is it over? Is it over this week?
I think it can be, but JJ, as long as he continues to play, he plays. The competition is clearly over. But I'm just telling you that it doesn't have to be. Like he could go and K could go have a reckoning with his quarterback coach and his family and whatever, and JJ could get too high on himself, which I don't think he will, but it's a possibility. He's still a kid, he's still a human, right? And so as all together as he is in the head, he can still let the outside noise get to him. And so he starts smelling himself, starts getting a little too crazy, makes a lot of mistakes, and then K comes in, maybe saves the day or plays well. Yeah, that's something that could happen. Do I think it will? Absolutely not. But that's what I'm saying. It's not 100% over. Like there's like a point-something% chance that it could change.
Right. So listen, folks, we are gonna go get to work now on the telestrations,
Jaden
that
Davis.
portion, and we're gonna get that done. Be on the lookout for that video.
Jaden Davis
coming up first thing in the AM, because after the show, I got to sit down with Borges, go over his tape. I got to sit down with Van, start going over his tape,
and Jaden Davis,
and then I'll get that. Oh, come on!
I just
Hey,
want.
you
I
said
Devin wants Jaden Davis.
You said he's the most locked in kid that you've seen. You know
at
why?
that age, young.
Jeremiah Davis, his dad.
Okay.
Is why.
So now he got a good family too. Get him.
Question.
Y'all go get him.
No question. All right, we got to
He loved the atmosphere, so
we got to get out of here, folks. Thanks for listening to another edition of the Michigan Insider Monday Morning Quarterback. We'll be back tomorrow here on Sports